And Andrew Crone. Dippery for Rutgers, Crone for Wisconsin. And what's the key in this match?
Dippery's got to start fast. He's great on top. Most PA boys usually are, but great on top, and he's got to start fast. If he can get a takedown here in the first period and get to his offense a little bit, he'll be all right.
As head coach Scott Goodale, who has piloted this program to 4 top 25 finishes, also a top 10 finish since 2009, I should say. Brought up a good point after that win against Princeton. 28-6 decision for Rutgers last weekend. It was a nice 6-5 win for Dippery over Chris Perez. And Goodale mentioned that was a good win for him.
Huge win for him. Perez is a returning national qualifier, if my memory serves me correct, and a huge win for Dippery. And he had a couple great wins at the Midlands, and it just shows you where Rutgers is at. Princeton, I want to say, finished 7th at the Midlands out of 42 or 44 teams, and to put a beating on them down the street, 28-6. I mean, and Princeton's a good team, and they got great coaches. Jody Buke, former Indiana, I want to say he was a 4-time All-American, returning national champion out of New Jersey. Great wrestler, doing great things with that program, getting them back into the spotlight. But to put that kind of beating on them just really shows you how far they've come. Because when I was in school and wrestling at Rutgers, we, you said back in 2010 or 2011, excuse me, we finished number 9 in the country that year, your top 10 finish that you were talking about. And we had wrestled Princeton a handful of times, and we had beaten them by 6 points, 7, 8 points. It was tight matches every time. We'd go 6-4, 7-3 with them. And, you look at where they're at now, it's just phenomenal to see. And the program just here with, 2,500 people here on a Friday night in the snow, it really just talks about how far the program has come.
Well, one thing was for sure, didn't matter what the score was, but it always resulted in a Princeton win. 20 straight victories now for Rutgers over Princeton. Plenty of New Jersey guys on this roster. Dippery, one of the lone exceptions. He's the redshirt sophomore from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And that win big for him, too, for that potential qualifier for the Big Ten tournament.
Sure, no, it's huge, especially when you start to look at the NCAAs and how you're going to qualify the weight class for your weight in the Big Ten tournament. He starts to put himself in that top 33 rankings and starts to put together all the criteria to hopefully qualify a weight for the Big Ten tournament and get himself a bid to the national tournament. Wins like against a guy like Perez from Princeton is huge. Trying a couple different things on offense right now, but kind of a typical Tyson Dippery first period so far right now against Crone.
Yeah, Dippery 10-6 in duels. Crone, who's the redshirt sophomore from Delafield, Wisconsin, he's 2-2. One of those wins against a ranked opponent. That came back against Bucknell. Crone was solid a season ago. 2015 recipient of the George Martin Scholarship Award. That's awarded to the undergrad with the highest cumulative GPA. Gets it done outside of the gym as well as right on the mat. And so no score. You mentioned it. This is kind of the first period we're used to.
Yeah, kind of what you'd look to see. So Crone's going to start on top here in the second period. Tyson's tough on top, so let's see what he can do here in the second period, if he can score some points. If he can make his way to get a reversal here or escape in a takedown and get himself in a position to go on top of Crone, that's going to be really good for him. Looking for a switch here. Right there, switching both sides. Crone doing a nice job following, keeps a single leg, sits him right down. They're starting to count. I don't know why they're still counting, because he's wrestling through the position. Crone doing a good job right now, riding 30 seconds here, approaching for Crone, doing a nice job of following Tyson's wrestling. I'll tell you what, if we're going to have questionable calls, I'm glad they're questionable for everyone and not one side or the other.
Well, we've seen Barry Davis already galloping.
He sweat through his first shirt already. He's doing jumping jacks the entire time. The guy has more energy than anybody I've ever watched coach.
What is it about Barry Davis that says something that a high school recruit and says, okay, I want to wrestle for him?
No, he's exciting. He cares about his athletes. I mean, you can just tell by watching him coach here. And Tyson, great Granby, gets the escape and gets the point out. Keeps riding time under a minute, 42 seconds. But back to your point, I mean, if you're in the arena tonight and you're watching Coach Barry Davis coach, he's on the mat the entire time. He's excited about every single guy. If you've ever read anything about him, you read about Bo Jordan, who's going to come up at 165. I want to say his father wrestled for him and his brother, and he's had a lot of people, family history there, and he just feels comfortable, Coach Barry Davis, because he just gets to know his athletes and he cares about them, just like Coach Goodale. That's why people want to come here and wrestle for Leonardis and Goodale and Pollard, is because the guys care about you and they care more about W's and L's. They want to see you succeed, period. But Crone right here, good on a single leg, got up in the middle here. Tyson's got to put his leg on the other side. You can see him trying to get his leg up. He's got his arm trapped. He wants to get his leg out to the side here and roll through. He does. He's got him trapped here. He might be able to get some points, but he's in a really weird position with 9 seconds left. He's going to have to be careful he doesn't give up a takedown, even though that could be 2 for him. Really, no one has control. Oh, they gave 2 at the last second. Wow. My God. They gave 2 points right at the end. Here's another thing, too. They're going to show it to you. They haven't given anything. Give nothing. They give nothing. Right there is 2, but time had run out. He didn't give it, with authority. It's just maybe it's 2. Do you guys like the call? It's you got to really, be sure of what you're doing. I think Coach Barry Davis is challenging this.
They're over at the scorer's table now.
Coach Barry Davis, he's going nuts. He already has a warning. But, you got to be, once, especially in front of 2,000 people. I'm being tough on the officials tonight, but in front of 2,500 people, you're not calling it
And here's another look.
So if it's not 2 now, then it's not 2 then either. It's whatever it is in that moment, because nothing had changed. So if it wasn't 2, it wasn't gonna be 2, because they hadn't switched positions. They were still both. No one had control in the official's mind. But he gives 2 right at the end because there's 2,500 people hollering at him, and they check it. Let's see did they uphold it. Looks like they did uphold it. 2 points.
Yeah, and now 3-0 in favor of Tyson Dippery. Rutgers grappler in the 149-pound weight class. Andrew Crone, he's hanging tough. Scott Goodale, the 9th-year head coach for Rutgers, looking on. He's got that signature sweater vest that he always wears. Remember the match on Sunday?
He's been wearing the sweater vest since he was the high school coach at Jackson Memorial High School. And Sunday, for the Michigan match at home, they're giving away first 500 people that come to the match on Sunday morning. They're giving away, right here, I told you Tyson's great on top, roll back half. They're not giving any back points there, but roll back half right there. Now he's looking, might get reversed here. He got a little high, he did get reversed. 3-2 here, minute and a half left. They're going to cut him.
Get those 2 points for Crone.
My guess is they're going to cut him. I don't know what they're yelling about at the head table right now.
Riding time getting almost down to 0.
I guess it's the riding time didn't switch. The riding time should be going back the other way, and quite frankly, it might be close to a minute of riding time at this point for Crone. They really confused me with the riding time.
Yeah, right now the riding time is running in favor of Crone, but only got 5 seconds to continue up by 10. You're right, they were over at the scorer's table to check.
Yeah, they might be doing it the wrong way, but Crone doing a great job on top. He's got a bar and a half in, 43 seconds left. He looks like he's running it really hard. Tyson's got to be tough here.
30 seconds left in the 3rd period.
Wow, and he's going to turn him right there. And 1, 2, and that's the back points right away. And that's 2 back points. And right there, that's going to put you at 4-3 Wisconsin. And I want to see what they're doing here in terms of the riding time. I don't know if it's over a minute or not yet.
Yeah, it looks like Coach Barry Davis is saying that what you brought up before.
Turning them for back points. Great job. Ran the bar hard there to turn him right over.
How difficult is that type of move that we just saw?
No, I mean, it's all about the right pressure and the right leverage. You know, Crone really had it in there the right way, and it's tough to, you know, you want to try to roll. If you're Tyson Dippery, you want to try to roll through it.
Scott Goodale is not happy with whatever they've determined.
I think Coach Goodale is just saying, let these guys wrestle. He wants these guys to stop catching a wind every match. Coach Barry Davis is at the head table, and, you know, rightfully so. I've had my own qualms with the officiating tonight, but he's at the head table and letting both guys catch a rest, and Rutgers is in great shape. They don't want you to catch a rest. They want to wrestle.
Only 21 seconds left in the third period between Dippery and Crone. Ryan Taylor with the pin earlier for Wisconsin, 6 points. Anthony Ashnault picked up the decision over Luke Rao. And not the first time. We saw this a couple bouts ago that gave both wrestlers some time to catch their breath in the third period.
Now the fans aren't happy. Now they're getting on Coach Barry Davis a little bit.
Davis, 23 years as head coach. Spent the first as the interim head coach at Wisconsin, the last 22. As the official head coach, he wrestled at Iowa, the winningest wrestler at the winningest program in the entire country, 162 wins and 172 bouts. Boy, Davis and Goodale exchanging words now.
Yeah, I mean, the riding time is definitely, they got him on they put him on the main screen with a mad face emoji. That's pretty good. That's tough. Because I think
now neither.
Sadly enough, I kind of think he's right. Actually, I think the riding time should be slightly higher than it is.
And neither head coach likes to deal with something like this. But what about the wrestlers right now? What's going through their minds?
Man, it's so frustrating. Especially, you know, you're both guys, right? You've been losing the whole match or winning the whole match if you're Crone or Dippery, and you've had a 5-minute break in the middle of your 7-minute wrestling match. I mean, it gets you cold. It gives both guys fresh. It doesn't allow for the conditioning and the other things to take into effect like it was gonna.
To see Goodale throw his palms up in the air waiting.
So okay, I was correct. So the riding time is actually a minute more than it is. So it's 5 to 3,
yep,
which is huge, which is why Barry Davis was upset, and rightfully so. He's got to get a reversal. And there's the escape, and there's the 1 point with 15 seconds left, but it's not going to be enough unless he gets a takedown here, which doesn't look like he's going to get with 5 seconds left.
And they made sure it was official, and now it is. Andrew Crone, he picks up the victory. And the decision over Tyson Dippery, that's 2 for the back.